Okay, so I had a prelude demonstration, and then Dwayne is going to carry on with the information that he has about the Saturn-Neptune conjunction. And let me introduce Dwayne.
Hi, Dwayne.
Hello.
Take it away, Dwayne.
Okay. As I shared earlier, I'm just coming out of having the common cold, and I'm still a little delirious. So if I screw things up at this end, you'll understand why.
Yeah, we'll support you through this, Dwayne.
Okay. So, okay, so I got to share, and here, and I think that's going to do it. There. You guys get the front cover?
Mm-hmm. The hot zone.
Yeah.
Hot zone. Well, we've been calling it that, and
Mhm.
and sure enough, all kinds of things have been going on. I'm sure you've heard something about the discoveries, the so-called discovery of a whole new underground phenomenon related to the Great Pyramid and well, actually to the whole of the Giza Plateau. I think it's Italian scientists have been working on this using a new type of penetrating radar, and they're able to generate imagery based on what their radar picks up on in any particular area. So, of course, we've had images like this show up, which are artists' renditions, based on the data that the scientists brought forward, which was much less graphic. So there's a real swirl of investigation going on right now in and on the Giza Plateau. And I think it's just so right with Neptune being right on the first degree of Aries, that all of this is coming up. I mean, we're at the start of a major new cycle, and wow, there's stuff happening. Now, play. Here we go. So yeah, this is probably the most striking image I came across.
Great.
They're talking about these vertical shafts that go down not hundreds of feet or even thousands of feet. They go on for like, well, I don't know, a couple of kilometers deep. I mean, it's just
Wow.
mind-boggling to think in those terms, but who knows? It's kind of wide open at this point. So let's have a peek at just contextually, just to have a look at where we're at. We're just now in the full moon of the fifth moon of this temple that we're moving through, the Temple of Star Harmony. And as I shared last 2 weeks ago, we have we're looking ahead to this conjunction of Saturn and Neptune. So it will take place on February 16th, 2026. That's when it comes exact, I believe. So Saturn conjoins Neptune at Zero Aries during a 2 Kib lunation in what will be the Temple of Birth. So we'll have our whole, uh, metaphysical context for the passage, and we're being fed, hieroglyph by hieroglyph kind of instructions. That's the way I'm understanding it. If we can read the hieroglyphs, we can get the most out of this celestial passage. So as we do, we go from month to month and check in on the hieroglyphs, and there's been quite a tale unfolding. So this upcoming conjunction is significant as it occurs at Zero Aries, the very start of the zodiac, symbolizing a new beginning. The alignment of Saturn's structure and discipline with Neptune's dreams and ideals often heralds periods of ideological shifts and the reimagining of societal structures. And our discussion just prior to the presentation here was along those lines, and the direct experience that some of us have had in that region of the world. So here, Steve opened us up to this, the different cycles that have been unfolding in our lifetime. If we go back to the Saturn-Neptune conjunction in 1952 to 1953 in Libra, themes, as Steve indicated, the Cold War structure, Saturn, plus utopian ideologies, Neptune, rise of mass media, a key event, start of McCarthyism in the US, structure enforcing ideological purity, formation of NASA's predecessor, NACA, launching dreams into space, cultural rise of television, fantasy enters the home, big time. Korean War armistices signed, a ceasefire but no peace treaty. Arts and ideology, abstract expressionism and beat poetry emerge. Then when we go to the next cycle, which was 1989 to 2026, so the one that we're currently ending, in Capricorn as opposed to Libra. So we have much more, I guess, political structures here. The themes, collapse of rigid structures, disillusionment with systems, dreams colliding with, that's behind Barbara's window on my screen.
Reality.
Dreams colliding with reality. Very good. Thank you. Key events, fall of the Berlin Wall in November of '89 and collapse of the Soviet Union soon thereafter. Tiananmen Square, how can you forget it? In 1989, idealism crushed by authoritarianism. So this Neptune-Saturn conjunction, big time. Launch of the World Wide Web, which has made such a huge difference for the whole planet. Start of a new digital dream. Rising globalization, both idealistic open world and structural market systems. Arts and ideology, grunge music and reality TV emerge. Disillusionment meets everyday. What does it say, Joanne?
Spectacle.
Okay, thank you. Hey, maybe you take over and read the next one for us, please.
What's small, so I can see the words that you. So we're doing Saturn-Neptune conjunction.
Yes, 2026.
2026. Okay.
Zero Aries.
Yeah. So the cycle is 2026 to 2061. The emerging themes forecast collapse or reconfiguration of current power structures, rise of new global ideologies, possibly based on climate realism, AI ethics, spiritual revival, and borderless digital or virtual societies, challenging traditional nation states. Potential for mass disillusionment, crises of faith in systems, or visionary collective rebuilding. Likely emphasis on spiritual responsibility and embodied dreams, bringing ideals into form. And then general themes across Saturn-Neptune cycles. So the general theme, Saturn, reality and limits. Neptune, dreams, and mysticism.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
So any commentary you guys want to submit at this point?
Yeah, I have some things that came up.
Yeah.
Around the media, what I found out yesterday was like in 52, 53, that's when TV came out, and it came out with the fact that there was a US presidential debate that people could watch for the first time, and there was also the coronation of Queen Elizabeth. And suddenly, commoners could see what was going on with the royalty. And it was a mass thing. And then in 89, with the first Iraq war, the 24-hour news cycle became the thing. And people could watch this 24 hours a day.
Oof.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, in 89, interestingly enough, the US invaded Panama to get rid of the dictator that they had installed and had turned on them. Sounds familiar. And then what they said about 2026, of course, is AI. And just like TV, it started out black and white and fuzzy. And AI started out with like a hand with 10 fingers on it. And it was mentioned that, like this presentation of the lightning path video, could possibly have us all speaking in Italian so Italians could listen to it. Or any language. So there's these changes in media at these 36-year cycles is quite fascinating.
And then the other from 2026 to 2061, where it's borderless digital or virtual societies. So virtual societies. Like, wow.
So this 2026 to 2061, that's the whole period to where they'll become conjunct again, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, crises of faith in systems, crises. Emphasis on spiritual responsibility and embodied dreams. Kind to that individual responsibility, it seems.
There's that individuality that I'm noticing.
Right.
That happened with the independence in 89 of the wall collapsing in Berlin. That one was successful in a sense, where the Tiananmen Square protests, they weren't very successful.
Mhm.
But again, the media, we were able to see it.
Mhm.
Steve, you mentioned something about AI and a hand with 10 fingers.
Right. You know, when we first
11.
started, I know I had that experience when we first started using AI for images,
Yeah.
and it would come out with a person, but the hand
Okay.
suddenly had 10 fingers on it. And you go, well, wait a minute, that's unreal. And to me, when I look back at TV in 1953, things were pretty fuzzy compared to HDMI now, or all this LED screens and clarity.
Yeah.
So it's like getting more clarity. But it starts off kind of inert and a little rough.
Mhm. Yeah. I wonder if it felt like way back when, like to me, it seems things are changing like so fast, so fast, so fast, that's how it feels. So I wonder if back then, I mean, if that's how it always feels with us humans, no matter what age, it's like things are just changing.
Well, if I use the TV analogy, when I go back and look at a program from 1955, it just looks so almost out of focus to where it is now. But it was, for the time, it was revolutionary. And people say, oh, this is great. But that's what they knew. And then it gets clearer and clearer and clearer. So, uh, yeah, it's like back then they didn't know anything different. So for a while, I didn't know anything different in AI except for 10-fingered hand people in the art. And I'd go, oh, I don't necessarily like that, but that's what it is.
I'm
So, but
curious how many of you are engaged with AI directly at this time? Are you using it as a tool?
No,
I haven't been, but I'm experiencing the benefits of it through all of you, for sure.
Mm.
And going back a little bit, when I look at my life on a, deeply personal level, 89, 91, collapse of rigid structures. That was when my first marriage was ending.
mine too.
Yeah, interesting.
um, I did an experiment, Dwayne, and I really had to force myself because it was like a big step. I thought, okay, but I was too nosy to do it. I took one of my stories, which I have written since a long time. It's quite a story. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna put this into Grok and ask him to make a sci-fi story out of it. And
Oh,
this
wow.
was, I mean, this was just like I just did it, you know. It's like very, let's see, I wasn't expecting anything or fantasizing anything. So I did put it in, and it depends on what you write down there. So I don't know why I use sci-fi, but I got now I got this really spaced out story, which is my story, and I was reading it and I thought, oh my God, oh my God, I like it. Oh my God, this is cool. This is such a cool story. It's a story about a raven and an elfin who are going to invest what the humans are doing because they have like sort of in their environment they're sort of having pollution happening. So, but this grok thing turned this whole story into different worlds, you know. It's really, really a space story now. So it's like in different galaxies, and it has all this descriptions I gave all into
Wow.
on a space level.
Yeah.
And what I'm doing right now is just to go through it and sort of throw that out what I don't like and fill in some stuff which I think the story should be. And the structure is great. So because I sort of had it as like a fairy tale story written, you know, it's like written like a fairy story. This grok, he structured it into a space story. So, and I had to sort of adjust myself on, instead of oil digging, they're doing Ethereum digging, and it leaks from one galaxy to another. So it's like, okay.
Wow.
Um,
Did you type your whole story into Grok then? Is that what you're saying?
no, I just copied it in. I have it written, or I had it already as a file. So I took the whole file and did put it in, and
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Wow.
So, but
Interesting.
I'm restructuring it. So I'm now going through it again because you know, it was in the first moment, it was super inspiring because it made the story so much more out there and not so earthy anymore. It's like, wow, it's a total different level of story. So I'm experimenting with this, and
That's
when I have
fantastic.
some parts, when I have some parts finished, I can share it with you guys if you want.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's great, Barbara. Good for you. That's very interesting. My goodness.
Yeah, yeah.
That was like a courageous step. Like we had we were talking in some other videos where we said we had to sort of take our energy and just go for it. You know, it's like I was pushing it in front of me, and I said, "Oh, I'm not. How I'm gonna do it?" And then since this grok is for free in on X, so I thought, oh, I'm just gonna do it. And now I have it also. I downloaded it on my computer, so. Um, but I'm not there yet. You know what's the next step is that you can take parts of it and say, write it new, give me a new explanation, give me an you know, or you say you have to ask, tell me another story. But I'm also scared that I'm gonna lose the same pattern of
Hmm.
structure of the because I like it, you know, I like this sci-fi energy thing. And also,
Can you save it separately and then ask
yeah, I
again?
don't know how to do that yet, so I have
Hmm.
to practice.
Hmm.
And for the next step, you also need another courageous saying, okay, I saved everything, da, 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 and now I can sort of take this part and see if I can get a better story out of it. And
Hmm.
also when I work, when I finish, I will put it again in there and see if there's some more corrections or stuff. But you also have to probably save
Hmm. The
your old
original.
text. Otherwise, you're just gonna be, you have the book flying. It's more like you, you have to be on top of saving things, you know.
The
It's
constant
quite,
change. It's
Yeah,
changing.
yeah,
It's
it's
changing.
quite mind-blowing, especially when you have to save so much. And then it's
yeah.
like, you know, it's like you have to remember where you saved it and why you saved it. And
And it
It's
sounds like you want to keep the original kind of essence of the story. And
I
if it,
actually I want not the original one. I want the first one I gave
right.
to Grok to do the sci-fi thing.
Yeah,
Because
that's what I mean. But then if you keep changing, and you
exactly,
don't,
then there's another style in it. I don't want that.
yeah.
So I have to tell also, you always have to tell the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's how far I know what I have to do.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
if you have
That's
a
interesting.
wrong
Yeah.
day and you have a wrong question,
Hmm.
so yeah, but
Wow.
at least I did it, like this is I have a friend who's encouraging me also to do to work with KI, how they call it here. Um, and she always says, you're always against it. You're always against it. And then in the end, you do it. You always do it. And she's like kind of my teacher in pushing me by saying, or not, she's not really pushing, but she gives me, she makes me want to do it, She's like challenging me by giving me all the tools or I have to find out where the tools are and she's not really helping at all. But it works. She's a good teacher for me because if somebody does it for you, it's
You don't
or,
learn.
or you have to learn their way how they do it. It's boring. You have to find your access to
Hmm.
this whole thing. I mean, talking about TV, you had to be the one who was looking for your program. It's like you have to be in control of the situation. And in former days, only our parents were able to open the TV and close it. Kids weren't doing that. So it's like how far we take control of this new situation. I don't know if it's control. Maybe it's like Dwayne says, more kind of a cool friend to have, because
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sounds like
it's so
focus because originally,
it's so fast.
so there were three channels on the TV originally,
Exactly. And
and
now
now
then,
there's 189 or 200 and three
oh my
hundred,
God, yeah.
and I mean, there's still nothing on it. But
Yeah, it disappeared.
it's I
Yeah,
mean, probably 85% of it is trash,
exactly.
but so there's this illusion that there's a lot, but maybe it's about focusing on
But what I wanted to say
what you
also,
want. Yeah.
what we also have is this. This we didn't have that for when then I don't know when we started to have mobile phones. This is also a very individual kind of experience, isn't it?
Yeah.
I just got a new one, so I sort of appreciate it because now the camera in there is incredible. Steve, it's so sharp. It looks so, I mean, and I can take pictures from people in the pool far away.
Nice.
And it's incredible. And you all have it in this box.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that was 2005.
Yeah, that was, I think, a very interesting
So I don't know
uh,
what planets were happening there.
uh, because that's very individualizing that each one of us could have one in our pocket. Now it's like you always get scared from everybody having this access.
There's probably some Uranus thing.
Uranus?
Ah, yeah.
2005.
Mm,
Battery charged.
mm.
Mm.
So, Sari, I get the sense that you have a different take on AI.
I'm working with Greg Braden's book Pure Human right now,
Hmm.
and and he talks about the threat of transhumanism. and how the powers that be want to eliminate us, basically. And I've been reading Greg Braden ever since he first wrote his first book, and
Hmm.
and I'm working with it right now, about self-healing, as opposed to having stupid things like Elon Musk wants to, inject into your brain and crap like that, right? So, and one of my least favorite AI things is autocorrect. When you're sending stuff out, when you look at it and you've sent it and it's like, oh man, and then you go to
Yeah, it's a
something
pain
else.
in the neck.
That's not what I meant, not what I said. But
Mm-hmm.
and
That's the first one I stopped doing in this new one. I immediately went into where you can sort of stop it because it's really a pain in the neck.
well, I'll look for that. I'll look for how to
Yeah,
stop.
you in installation, I don't know how you guys call it, but it's like it's the first thing you have to get rid of. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like easy to do,
Mm.
but autocorrect is such a pain. And especially when you forget about it and then you read your text, it's like, what? What
Mm.
happened?
That's a tiny personal thing, but you
Yeah.
Yeah.
see where
Yeah.
it's going. I spent a couple of days deleting all of my sponsored content on Facebook because everybody's trying to sell you something.
Right.
And there's
Every
one,
other post.
yeah, and one guy was
Mhm.
saying, send me your stuff and I'll make a book out of it that's readable. And I thought, well, what happened to human imagination and intuition and all of those things?
Mm.
And I'm not willing to
Yeah.
give those up in favor of some idiot, thinking I didn't do it right.
Mm.
Mm.
I have a lot of
Mhm.
emotion around that. Sorry.
That's okay.
No, yeah, go for it. I hear you, and I'm with this. Sorry, it's like the human. We were the gift of our human form, our humanity, the gift we've been given,
Mhm.
and then technology, like with technology, taking it away, taking it away, taking it away. I mean, to me, that's the preciousness that's in jeopardy here.
Mhm.
That, that.
Just a simple example. I'm in a small group and there's a flip chart at the front, and a younger person went up there and we were calling out different words and they couldn't spell them without spell check.
Yeah.
Very interesting to see it. But I'm curious, you started off with Greg Braden saying they want to eliminate us. What is that? What is the purpose of that? Or is there any more on that you can share?
Well, there's a whole thing about the WEF and wanting to control people more, right? But he starts off the book saying what, um, like in ancient writings, and he lists four ancient, the Hebrew, the Essenes, the Sumerians, and what the human um, gift was, that we have divinity within us. And if we tap into that, we can do self-healing. We can make big changes. We can, but we have to talk to the cosmic straight on, not through some religious stuff or through family stuff or whatever, but talking to the cosmic straight on. And I've been trying to do that, you know, and it's it feels different, talking to the cosmic straight on without any intermediaries, whether the AI or whatever, is really empowering.
Mm.
And I know people who do that. And, I think Greg Braden is one of those people, because he tells the story about when he first moved to Arizona and he met a native man, and he was scouting the territory because he was going to be doing a workshop, and they were going to walk, and he wanted to make sure the trails were safe. And he asked the guy what he was doing, and he said, listening. I've come to listen to my ancestors, and in those caves. And so, he's trying to get a direct connection with the power that was said. And, it's quite amazing when we do that. Things feel different.
Mm-hmm.
And I prefer that.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for the tools. I'm grateful that we're all able to see each other right now. And that's a technological advance, right? I want, and I am committed to keeping it as a tool, not something that rolls over me. Like switching my phone off at night. However, I don't always do that because I have people on the other side of the planet. A daughter lives in Australia, so if she needs to contact me, I want to be able to have access to that, right?
So this divinity within is connecting with the divine. So with divinations, different tools
Mm-hmm.
and different synchronicities occur.
Yeah.
Like I start talking about Saturn and Neptune in conjunction, and Dwayne just brings up a presentation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah, those are the things I like.
Mhm. Yeah. In my astrological career, there was always offers. Well, we could just do all the transits for you. No, I want to do them myself.
Mm-hmm.
Then they mean something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Neptune and Saturn together, to me, has always meant an element of magic, movies, and illusion. And the magic is the fact that we create our own reality.
Mm-hmm.
Hence the divinity within, right?
Mm-hmm.
The movies are the realities that we create. And illusion happens if we forget that we are the directors of our own movies.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's my take on this. So it's going to be very interesting when the next like absolute conjunction happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because like the Berlin Wall, for instance, when it came down, it was helped by television, which is a technological thing, because people would say, "Hey, it's on TV, look," and everybody rushed out into the street, right? And same with the when the Marcos regime fell in the Philippines, TV had a hand in that because people said, "Hey, go inside, look." So the technology is in that case a help in terms of people getting involved.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Some of the protests that have all been orchestrated through social media,
Hmm.
people have been able to connect and show up suddenly and make their point,
Hmm.
have it heard.
Yeah. So I think I agree with Greg Braden on this, is that we're at a real crossroads, and if we give our power away to technology, we're hooped. That's the end of our species. And it's as serious as that. Because
Yeah.
like you say, people not being able to make change if they're cashiers without their gadget, right?
Especially when the power goes out.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm careful. That's the
Mm-hmm.
biggest word I'm careful. And I appreciate all the gifts of the technology, but I absolutely refuse to let it be ruling my life. Like I didn't get an mRNA vaccine. when all that hoopla was happening.
Mm-hmm.
I'm certainly not going to invest in Elon Musk's Neuralink. Like all these things are crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they seem experimental.
And we're the guinea pigs.
Hmm.
Met somebody the other day, pardon me, and he had an aura ring. It was a friend's son. And the aura ring, he'd have to look at his phone, but would give him all the readings, his blood pressure, how many steps he'd taken. Just every little thing, his heartbeat. And watching him, he was so very unhealthy because he was not like connected within. It was all about this aura ring
Yeah,
and what it was saying on his phone, not what he was feeling.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he's suddenly hyper vigilant.
Yes, yes, yeah.
It's like, well, wait a minute.
Mm.
Hmm.
Yeah. Is it,
Well, it'll be interesting with this uh, conjunction. What is going to be the big media shift? Because it seems like it's going to happen. Because we go back to each 36 years, there have been these big shifts in media. Apparently, I listened to it yesterday, and they started to talk about into the 1500s, and that was the changing the Bible into German. Before, you had to know Latin or Greek in order to even read it. And then at this Saturn Neptune conjunction in the 13 or 1500s, there was this change to German, and then those people could read it, and then it changed them.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a big media movement.
Mm-hmm.
mm.
I think for me, another thing to remember is that we're at the beginning of the Aquarian age.
Yeah.
Like it really started in the 1800s, or and the last age, the age of Pisces, and you always have to look at the opposite sign. So Pisces, Virgo, right? So earth and water. So imagine the Grand Canyon being dug out by, constant lapping of water. Took forever, right? So it was a different time. Time functioned differently, earth and water. Now we're in air and fire. Aquarius is air, opposite sign Leo is fire. So lighting a match, just like that, you got fire. And over the years, I had so many clients phone up and say, so it's so fast. When's it going to go back to normal? Wow, this is the new normal, you know?
So that's the quickening.
Yeah, absolutely. Lighting a match, you
Mhm.
know? It's so fast and we just have to get used to it. But to me, I'm not going to get used to it by giving my power over to machines. I'm going to get used to it by fine tuning my intuition and feeling it, you know?
Mm. What comes to me as I listen to you, sorry, is the maybe you've all seen or know of the Hunger Games, the movies, the
Mhm.
Hunger Games.
I know about them. Yeah, I didn't watch them.
Okay, well, yeah, it's oh my, it's scary, like it's scary, but that's what comes to me when I think of the change that are happening, and as you say, uh, the mRNA that has been injected, or changing us as humans,
Yeah.
kind of our human nature, our basic human nature, and I mean, it's years ago now when I watched those, but my heart's thumping just when revisiting, or just even to say that again. I just, I don't know why. I just got, my heart's pumping is all I can say when I'm thinking of those, the Hunger Games. It just seems to be a possibility, or a forecasting, or a,
Was that an illusion? Is that one of
The
the illusions that Sari's talking about? We have our magic, we create our own movie, but then there's the illusions. Somebody made that story up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess maybe what I identified with what Sari was saying was the humanism, like with our very divinity, our connection to the divine, as opposed to becoming a automaton or a machine or
Right.
that
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, that's what connected me to what Sari was saying. And my harp, I can't talk anymore about it. I just get so not scared, but it's like kind of a truth. Like that's a possibility is what comes to me. Oh my
Right.
God, that's a possibility.
So
That
I see you as in that picture that I saw, you're fishing and all the other people are facing the other way, looking at the white smoke of the Pope.
Huh.
yeah,
But
wow.
we feel that, I think I feel that, all these people that are in this illusion
Yeah.
of
Mhm.
this guy as a savior or what. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thanks for that, Steve. Like that's given me a kind of a confirmation or something that this heart that's just beating here right now that wants to jump out of my chest almost. You've given me
mhm.
it's like, yeah, yeah, okay. Walk my path, okay.
Yeah, and
That's right.
and that's okay.
Yeah.
I started reading The Pure Human. I got it right after you recommended it.
Uh-huh.
Um, and yeah, and anyway, so it's, basically saying God is within. And, and then what's with the Saturn Neptune, it's like not giving our power away to AI or to other people with the Hunger Games, and some of the others that are on. And what I take from one of the most important things of Jesus's teachings is to love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and soul.
Yeah.
And he was referring to within, finding that God within and all around us, I believe.
Including ourselves.
Yeah, but totally ourselves. Yes.
That's well put. Yeah. Mhm.
And what's about being creative? I mean,
Yes.
um, if you have a tool, it's like if you had a brush, you can paint a painting. Now you can have a tool and you can experiment. And where is the spirit of creativity, you guys? I mean, we don't have to use, we can use a brush, but we can all now paint digital or let others. I mean, we can do anything we want. So it's free. We are actually free, and we still can meditate even when we use AI. I mean, I don't see the problem. The problem is how you think, how you sort of um, feel victimized, or how free you are. And this is why I experienced, I wanted to find out. I mean, I used my writings right now for this, and I was surprised because it, um, yeah, it gave me, I felt stuck with my writing, let's say so. And also with painting, we are sort of in a moment where when you paint a painting, okay, you painted a painting, but it's not satisfying because there are new tools there. And we are not able to use these tools. So we have to do a little learning, or we have to do a little step over our own shadow. This is how I see it. This is why I do it, and why I probably will keep on doing. And maybe in the end, there's a cool, nice little stories for kids or for grown-ups, which are sort of mentally opening space instead of just talking in fairy tale style, or how I did write it, because nobody is really interested in this anymore. So maybe my story ends up in little 3 lines in a children book. Who knows? But I give it the possibility now to keep going, to keep growing, and I'm learning. And I don't like crosswords, so I challenge myself with AI. So
Think
Yeah,
there's a
I hear you. I
positive.
think that's
I had to
that's
say
beautiful,
this
and
because
but there's, I
I
think
like to
some of us
challenge
are
myself.
coming from
Yeah. There's a positive and negative to everything.
we're
And
coming from awareness,
Yeah.
Yeah, and
and
crosswords are too boring.
there's thieves in everything.
Yeah, I mean,
So not
the
to
way,
go in naive
and
to
I don't
this
have to
and
do
just say, okay,
anything,
I accept this media. I accept this.
or even just for me to keep doing something with my own mind, keep
Yeah.
entertained and say, oh, it works like that. Aha, right on. And I don't have to become a slave of it. But at least, I know in my phone where I can change, because you can change anything. That's what my friend always said. If you don't like something, change it. But you have to know where. And it's the same with digital painting. If you don't know, and I know when I had this breakthrough, I was really trying so hard to understand digital painting that it almost blew my mind. And I thought, I'd give up. And in the moment I was thinking of giving up, I succeeded. And now I can do it. I know where the tools are. It's such a different way of painting. I mean, Picasso didn't have the chance anymore to paint this way. So if I can do it in this lifetime, I would like to do it, at least try. And don't I, what do I have to lose? It's like a very short time, maybe my 5 years, 10 years of lifespan, but at least I didn't say out of ignorance in a way. I don't,
Yeah.
can you do, I don't want to ask all the time somebody else to show me how I can install my mobile or programs but I ask for help, when I'm like now in a situation maybe where I jam up everything, let's say in the story, I will ask somebody for help, somebody who knows more about it, of course. So that's the teacher thing keeps going. It's like we just in on new grounds, which are no grounds anymore because Neptune sort of took the carpet away. It's like walking in air in a way. And that's
I
why I
still
like the
feel
story. It's a
fortunate.
sci-fi story.
I still feel fortunate to be of our generation to be able to turn it off.
Yeah, if you can, why
Yeah, I can
not?
turn it off, and then I can go out to my power spot and look at the portal
Exactly.
and connect with nature still.
Hmm.
And I can see
And
these young people.
others, as you say, maybe 5, 10 years, this other generation, if they completely go AI crazy, then that generation
Oh,
deals with that AI crazy. But I feel very fortunate to have come in where
look
I
at
know
Quentin. Look at
I can
Quentin.
use, yeah, I can use the tools or not. I have that
Mhm.
choice. But there is, I find, whether it's in crypto or it's in AI or it's in anything,
Mhm.
there's the light and the dark, right? So
Yeah.
I don't want to be naive and suddenly some scammer is on the phone and I give him all my information.
No,
That's naive. And they
I
come up
never
with
have any
other
problems with my
methods. So it's just it to me it's an awareness.
mhm,
And
safety
where
also.
do I want to
I
go
mean,
with the where do I want to go with the tools?
yeah. And how safe you want to make it so nobody steals it.
Yeah.
This is like, you have to you have to know where and that's good when you have somebody to help you. there has to be, this is why it's cool when we ask somebody who knows better about it. And
Well,
I'm like,
Saturn is the boundary
I'm
maker,
just,
right? Saturn. So
yeah,
Saturn is creating the laws.
yeah. And
There,
I
there
like
needs
to go
there
and
needs to
check
be some
out the
laws.
boundaries.
There needs to be some laws around AI. I mean, uh, suddenly using people's images and having them say things that they didn't say before.
Yeah,
To me, that should be illegal.
well, but first
Mm.
you have to experience something before you can change it.
Well,
I
yeah,
mean,
they can always
this
do
is
these
like
things
how my life was working.
before they make it a law. So that's why a person has
Yeah.
to be aware.
Mm.
Yeah, but the things will show up whenever there's some, like when they rig voting or whatever, It's like before you cannot make a law because this is like we have to experience first.
Yeah, they have to break
Then we
something.
can
Well,
make a law.
there's no law to break yet.
I get- I think what's coming to me is I keep on, okay,
Go
where's
ahead.
my North Star? Where's my North Star? My
Yeah,
North Star. Where
there
is
you
my
go.
North Star? Just keep going, keep
Yeah,
that in mind. That's my North Star. This down here is happening and it's just
yeah.
overwhelming if I let myself get caught in it. It's like North Star. Where's my North Star? Me. It's like, oh my God, please, please.
My one step grandson, I just found out yesterday, he'll be 25 at the end of this month, but he's going for his doctorate, so he's very connected to everything right now. But he and his girlfriend are right now trekking to Machu Picchu,
Huh.
so it's that lovely balance,
Hmm.
I believe. Yeah.
Great. Yeah.
And part of the new generation. And you'd mentioned Quentin too, like,
Yeah.
Mm. So
Yeah,
I
I had a nice chat with him yesterday. I think he's had his birthday, and yeah, he's out in nature right now.
mm.
Mm. Mm.
So, Dwayne, we haven't heard from you for a while.
Oh, that was a very wonderful exchange that you guys had.
Yeah, well, we want you in it. I know you're resting.
Yeah, it's true. This whole dealing with new technology, there really is the need for us to be vigilant and discerning. Because, for example, we're talking about taking existing imagery and substituting different words were said and
Hmm.
manipulating it, into an entirely new production that maybe implicates somebody in a crime or whatever.
Hmm.
Well, this is possible. And God, um, Joanne, you're North Star. I mean, I love that. I mean, we've got
Yeah,
to each, keep in alignment with that because there is so much crap going down that
right.
uh, pulls the well, for example, I'm um, okay. What do we got? Oh, that's okay. I'm going to skip that.
No, go for it.
Convoluted at this point.
No, go for it.
So it comes out that on the news somewhere, or it's certainly on Facebook and this and that, that Mark Carney is passing legislation that will make cars older than what, from 1960 and elder will be disallowed on the highway, basically. And then there was another catch in there as well, but I can't remember what it was. So there I go out and I jump in my truck to go to the dump. And all the way on that trip to the dump, I am thinking about that this truck is going to be off the road according to this, blah, blah, blah. I got totally caught into
Oh,
the narrative, so that my whole stream of thought is that this is a reality I'm going to have to deal with.
Mhm.
What I'm really dealing with is this new technology and how it can be manipulated.
hmm.
And yeah, like we're having we got to go into hyper discernment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
At the same time, yesterday I see a article out of the governor of Colorado is allowing Japanese vehicles prior to 1982 to be used on the roads without the emission standards.
Yeah.
They just can't go on the interstates because they're not fast enough, but you can drive them around your town. And it's a whole nother market for Japanese cars to come in. So it's like,
Yeah.
one hand we're thinking, oh, my car is going to be taken away, and now they're saying, oh yeah, you can have these cars.
Oh. Oh.
And if
Yeah.
it's really old, you'll be able to fix it up and sell it for lots of money to a collector.
That's right.
It becomes a
Yeah.
collector's item.
Well, I find it just kind of, I try not to go there, just like you were saying, Dwayne, but I try not to go there, but you can't help but hear these things or see them or on, and I just I just don't like the idea that one person can have so much power.
Mhm.
I mean, in other parts of the world, I mean, it's happened a lot or over the years or whatnot, but that's what I feel we're in right now, that there's one person
Mhm.
that is has a lot of power and is probably going to continue to increase it. And so if his agenda, well, pretty can be pretty scary, is where I can, when I feel into it, that yeah, he's gonna, if he wants to create the world that he sees, he wants, that he's connected to, that yeah, just yeah, we'll
Yeah,
just
I see Joanne creating her own world. Where's
well,
Joanne? Oh, she went fishing.
that's that's exactly. And it's sort of, I'm glad to be connected here to a few people because it's like, oh my God, this is kind of very lonely. Well, no, not lonely. I don't feel lonely, but I feel uh, on my own.
Hmm.
So it's anyway.
Yeah, I hear you following your true north
Yeah,
with your fishing pole.
perfect. Thank you. Perfect.
Mhm.
And your narwhal tusk.
Yes, yes.
That's so powerful. It's just, I love
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. I got the download. Yeah.
Mhm.
Talking to fishermen and North Stars, I'm having that vision of Neptune that first came up and the fishing, and then the star, sitting right in his chest,
Mhm.
Mhm.
the North Star sitting within, and that pattern on the trestle board, number 10 is the kingdom of spirit is embodied in my flesh, and then that's the Greg Braden, we've got all of this within us, this.
Yeah, that's where my North Star is, right here, right here.
Ah, right on.
Right.
And with
Yeah,
every
that's the only
thought,
thing I want embedded in my flesh.
Yeah.
we've got this whole chemical reaction that happens with every thought that we think and
Mhm.
within
Yeah.
and without. Yeah.
Mm.
Well, that's why I haven't watched the news, like television news, for 50 years or more.
Wow.
I just don't. I remember, and I have my parents to thank for that, because they had it all the time, and I had to run away because it's all, so much of it's lies, and it's not good for your soul. So this little
Yeah,
heart inside here doesn't like the news. You know,
right.
I get stuff from MSN, but I choose if I read it or not, as opposed to sitting in the living room and being bombarded with
Oh,
crap.
it's what they just share one trauma after another,
Mhm.
one problem after another.
And they repeat the same one many, many, many times.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
I'm tuning in again. I heard it once.
Mhm.
Mm.
And when I came to Canada in 1956. And I remember about a year before we came, my Opa got a television, and he ran the local brick factory, and he got a television. And we used to watch Bonanza. We didn't speak English, but we watched Bonanza. And one day I thought, we're not alone here, right? And we're looking at the TV, and we turned around, and there's all the neighborhood kids with their noses pressed against the glass because they'd never seen anything so miraculous, right?
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
we've
the new
really
media.
long way to, what did you say, 189 channels, Steve, or something like that?
Oh, if not more. Yeah,
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
yeah.
So
And people
thanks
are
for bringing
going,
out that North Star. I love that. Thank you so much for saying that.
mm-hmm. And
And,
people are going, oh,
and
there's
we were
nothing on.
and we were probably energetically connected then because we were probably watching Bonanza at the same time in a different part of the world.
That's right. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I had lost track of what I posted here.
I
I
think
didn't know what was coming up next.
you just asked if we had anything to add.
An hour later.
Related, right?
Look at that chart, eh? Look at the concentration in Pisces and Aries. Wow, wow, wow.
Hmm. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
And that's for the exact conjunction. I mean, this is huge.
Hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Holy.
And this is what's happening in the world. This is wow.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Water and fire.
So that's
Lots of
next.
steam. Lots of steam.
Theme, yeah. Yeah.
Holy. Well, that's pretty lopsided there. Pretty big concentration.
Yeah.
Holy.
Yes.
Oof. Holy.
And 99.999% of human beings have no awareness of this phenomenon.
Huh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So I used to get quite a few clients with Saturn and Neptune conjunct in their natal chart. And they'd, be going through one thing or another. And the the main discussion was about converting worry to what you want.
Mm.
Hmm.
Because that Saturn Neptune, again, the magic movies and illusion, worry is one of the shadow effects of that, because we create what we don't want because we're fearful,
Hmm.
right? And if we can
Right.
flip that around to creating what we do want, then we get the best of it.
Yeah. Very key point.
So there's one coming up May 25th.
Oh, right.
Saturn enters Aries. Right on.
Mhm.
Mm. Setting the stage.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah, I keep getting these images of a ginormous yellow sub is at the has just arrived at the the train station. You know
Mhm.
that feeling of you're waiting, like the idol is there, the machines are ready to serve you, but not everybody's arrived yet.
Oh, you're standing on the platform?
Yeah, there you go. That,
Mhm.
that picture you shared of Sophia at the
Oh,
platform,
yeah. Yeah.
awaiting the train's arrival. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really. Or I
Mhm.
think of being downtown Calgary by the Hudson's Bay. I, for whatever reason, I found myself there on a Sunday morning, and all the action was around a bus in idle, but a loud idle, and it was just waiting, 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 and it went
Mhm.
on and on and on, and it was just I don't know. There was something about that moment was riveting because I'm still carrying the memory of it. You know,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. I
feels
think there is the, when you mentioned Sophia, would be that anticipation standing on the platform, the anticipation that, wow, we're going to travel somewhere new. Going
Mm.
right on.
to experience, have a new experience. Yeah. That was certainly one of her favorite things to do.
Mhm.
Just put on the backpack and love the train,
Mhm.
Mhm.
the trains of Europe.
Mhm.
Mhm. I
I
feel
wish.
very fortunate that I got to be part of that.
Mhm. Mhm.
And it's everybody's different experience. Like we took the train from Italy up to St. Moritz in Switzerland, and it was this amazing train that goes over these stone pillared bridges, and you can look back and can see the end of the train. It curves that much,
Mm.
and oh, we're just in awe.
Right on.
And there's a family on there. They want a trip. The teenage children are just totally disinterested. They're looking at their phones. They don't even see this.
Oh.
And the parents are struggling with oversized luggage for two children and themselves. And they were just creating misery.
Mm.
But we were in the same place. It was just amazing to observe that, yeah, with all that going on, the people miss the beauty.
Mhm.
But the poor guy, he, he was struggling with these gigantic suitcases. I helped him get him off the train. And then, of course, when you're in San Moritz and in Switzerland, the next thing to do is you got to go up like probably 300 stairs up the mountainside to get to your hotel.
Oh.
I told him as we were going along, he's catching his breath and he's looking out the window with himself. I said, you know, if it was me, I'd throw those suitcases over this cliff and I'd buy each of you a backpack and they carry their own. He says, ah, you're right. But he says, well, it's kind of too late now. We're headed home. But I think my wife brought every marble statue back from Italy. God, the poor guy. But they had, in a sense, created their own struggle, and I really felt for him. But yeah, it's yeah, back to those trains. It's just so much fun to travel the trains through Europe. Wow. Now I want to go.
But is it the same Europe that was back then?
Well, if I take my fishing pole,
Mhm,
it can be,
mhm.
because there's no one saying that I have to connect to all that madness. There's no one saying that I have to watch the news.
Mhm.
Hmm.
So when on the chart is a good time to travel.
Dwayne, if I was going to look up somebody's solar kin, look up their chart, you said to do noon, high noon.
Yeah.
But if they knew their actual birth time, is it better to use the actual birth time? Or does,
Well, I mean, that's certainly an option. But if
okay,
you're going to work with the lightning path cosmology, it has its protocols. And one of the protocols is simply to use Aries or high noon as the reference point.
okay, thank you. Sorry, I didn't mean to shift everything there. For me, it was
Oh,
part of the
no, it
same
was ready. It
thing.
was ready to shift.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, great.
Hmm.
I'm working on, with ChatGPT, I'm creating a book or a booklet,
Hmm.
all things lightning path. So it'll have the instructions for getting your solar kin, and there'll be
Oh, nice.
a linkage over to the Book of Electrum and all the temples of birth and so on. And it's really been an interesting creative project with many levels to it. And like Barbara, I'm finding that what's coming back to me from ChatGPT is often it's really expanding my frame of reference.
Hmm.
So I'm my
It's
old words are
inspiring.
being
Yeah.
my old
I'm
words
also,
are
I'm so
being revised,
surprised.
and it's totally right on. It's an organic
Yeah,
development and an expansion. So
yeah. That you can be so that you can be inspired by something artificial, but somehow maybe it's like my friend who's working with AI for real hard, and she's creating a lot of different personalities and stuff. She says, I think I see it as a personality. She already uh, broke this barrier of seeing it as something um, artificial. She feels like it's, and she talks to cars. She gives cars names, and she always was like that. That she also personalized machines, and AI is not a machine in a way. It's already something inspiring, and it's like you're tapping into a collective knowledge
Hmm.
which you alone cannot create. We cannot have all these possibilities. Uh, I mean, I'm so surprised what must be in there as a program. It was fed by us, these AIs. They are us in a way because they have all our knowledge, all humanity. Like in one of the videos before, we talked about this time when we all, like all our consciousness, sort of collective consciousness is going to the center of the galaxy, like Hunabku.
Hmm.
So this is and I saw it. I sort of see it like this, that we are building a stream of the consciousness of all the living beings on this earth. And it's sort of mixing and exchanging, but it's all sort of directed to Hunabku, to the center of the galaxy, and maybe even looking back to us. I don't know, but this is like how I'm starting to build my own vision about what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have to, and you can even ask it, it depends on how much you lose the shyness towards this tool. Like Dwayne is saying, he's you have to sort of and it's fantastic. You don't, all the books are in there. All the information of all these different living beings is in there. And then that's why you can create all this assistance, all this, they make beautiful, what for me was always to get it orderly, like Saturn energy, to make sense of your story, to put a cool name first, and then have like a visual where you can see da 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 da. This has to happen first before that can happen and stuff. It's so cool. It's really like having a big brother who knows who's helping you to work out something you would never ever be able to do by yourself.
So it's
That's
dark
how
and
I see it.
light. It's dark and light, just like the Hunabku.
Yeah. So it connecting with because we all do this, it's not like, and they're collecting our data. Like now what we are talking, Dwayne can take all this and feed ChatGPT with it, with all what we said, he
Mm-hmm.
can he can get an essence out of this by and for reaching the next level of his next presentation, for example. This is all possible. It's like it's a different way of group dynamic in a way.
So with media changing,
We also have to
when Google first came out, and I was in awe, going, "Wow, like they can answer this." It was like I look at it as a giant filing cabinet for my generation. Everything was put in a filing cabinet, and you had to go to it to reference it. So Google was the same, but it was done digital. And now I feel AI is the same. It's just faster, incredibly quick, where we're in awe going, wow, I asked that question and they had this elaborate answer in
yeah
8 seconds.
yeah
So it's just a faster filing cabinet.
yeah
And again, it's how I, as an individual, choose to use it.
yeah. You still have to put your own private thing on it. It's like you still have enough to do. I mean, a book like Dwayne wants to do is not done easily. You also
Yeah,
have to ask the right questions. You also have to, and especially in our age, it's very helpful
yeah. But
because
see,
if
I have a
I always
personalized,
wanted to make a book, and
yeah.
this is, or I didn't. I just wanted to write stories. But
Mhm.
if I could turn them into a book or something, it's why not? Why not to use that?
Yeah. So I have an idea for a book. I have the chapters,
Uh,
but it's all personalized.
mm,
And so yesterday I went to the spirit fair and I was looking for a ghostwriter because I don't want to do it. I want to make puppets and other things. I want to do other things.
exactly.
But I also have this other book idea.
Hmm.
But the old fashioned way is to have a ghostwriter
Yeah.
to be interviewed.
Mm.
So I'm going, well, how could AI interview me? And that's what comes up for me today.
Cool. Yeah, find a way.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking also to, because I have written my portfolio, like not portfolio, what do you say? Your autobiography, like something about your life, what you did write down here and there, da da da. It's a
Mhm.
big fucking mess, you know. It's like everything everywhere.
Oh, okay.
To bring it together and do it, why not?
Yeah, I have mine in chronological point form.
Mhm. But everybody has this, you know, it's like karmic. We have all, each of us has a different perspective,
Hmm.
and if you have a garden, you want to be in your garden. If you want to go fishing, you're gonna go fishing.
Yeah.
If you want to do this or that, it doesn't matter. We have to
Hmm.
be more generous too, you know, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And um, all this big people, or if it's Bruce Lipton, they all use that. You know, it's not like they are not using this kind of technique. They're also to write a book. They're all, but they have people to do it for them. You know,
Right.
it's we are
Right.
not, we don't have that, so we have to learn it. I mean, um, first I felt like sorry when I AI paints whatever you want. But I thought, okay, now I learned all this digital painting, and now I can forget about it
Hmm.
because AI is doing it for me. No, no, no. It's not like that. I still can do my digital paintings and then put it there and have it maybe changed into totally something different still. So, you know, you don't have to, one doesn't equalize the other. It's like it's the Neptune kind of trick. You
Yeah.
have to sort of dial into and see in the fog and sort of find shorelines where you sort of can connect again. And maybe that's the individualizing process we
Yeah.
need. That
Well, if
it's
we're spirits having a human
yeah, and it
human
doesn't matter if you
experience,
can use the phone or you don't. It doesn't
they were having
matter.
a human experience, so I can choose what I want to experience.
Yeah. And if I choose that, it's because, yeah, I don't want to travel. I'm perfectly fine here.
Hmm.
Everything. And I never had time in my life to do I did write, but like I said, it's a big mess. Everything is like if I was to find old files and stuff, but you can bring it from there into the now,
Hmm.
and then something happens, you know. And a lot of things, um, like if you want to have a chronology about your life, you find all these little stories and you can put it into something.
Hmm.
If you want to do that, fine. But if you prefer to relax and enjoy, it's also good. It's your karma.
Yeah. Well, what I'm
It's your
seeing for
way of
myself
doing
is that
things.
it's something that I can give back to the community by creating this.
Yeah, if you have the need, if yeah,
Yeah, it
it,
just feels,
I don't even think about a community or
yeah, I do with mine. See, that's a different
yeah,
perspective.
yeah,
With mine,
exactly.
I feel that there's an experience that I could share with the community that will make it easier for them.
Mhm.
So that's my perspective. And yeah,
I don't even need a reason for that. You know, it's
yeah,
like some people need reasons for why they're doing something,
yeah,
and some
mine
people
is, yeah,
don't
mine
need a
just,
reason.
mine is intention. And
Mhm.
if I have that intention, then things will unfold and it's fun to do.
Back
And,
I
but
like things
back
unfold without intentions. You know, it's like,
I have the choice
you know,
to do it or not.
back to the individual. like the
Mhm.
tapestry of life.
Yeah.
We're each a thread, whatever color, so
Having our own
the
experiences
individual, we're weaving a tapestry. One individual.
within the community.
Oh my God.
Mm.
Okay.
We're getting down to the wire. Final comments, please.
I-
Wrap it
I'm
up.
I'm just thinking of the North Star that's out there and the North Star that's in here, and that how all these planets correspond to all the organs within our body, and as within, so without, as above, so below.
Yeah.
Stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enjoy the concert. I wish
Thank
you a
you.
very good time.
Thank you
And
Yeah.
so
I
much.
hope you send us your vibrations.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
And
excited to travel.
very
Tomorrow I
good.
travel on the ferry. So, uh, yeah, travel is happening.
And I'm excited to travel in my car to Vancouver. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, quite a challenge, you guys.
yes.
Yeah.
Very good.
And I identify with you, sorry, like I agree, the true north is here, like that's the
That's
connection for me
nice. Yes,
too.
very
The true
nice.
north,
Mhm.
Yeah,
the heart connection. But
definitely, definitely. It has to be the most important
Hmm.
point to be in your heart.
Yeah.
it's also connected. It's connected
To the stars.
way out there,
Oh, yeah.
a different time and space.
Yeah.
To the
Cool.
cosmic.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Unap cool.
Unabku.
Yeah.
Do you have time for one quick question?
Absolutely.
I'm taking up time asking that. So Dwayne, when you're looking at where the planets are in your chart on a regular basis, is that your chart like on a daily basis? Is that your chart from your birth time or from noon?
Well, I've really switched over to noon.
You
It's
just
more,
switched everything to noon.
yeah,
Okay.
I mean, that's, to me, that's evoking the universal human as
Oh,
opposed to, the individual and the astrology of personality, for example, that Rudyard produced so many years ago. It was all about giving the individual tools to manifest harmony in their life and wholeness. Um, and I dealt or used that chart format for decades. And then came this time where I started getting into the Saturn Uranus conjunction, and then Neptune shows up and everything's getting, more expansive and ephemeral. And then finally it just came, well, what am I getting from the house system that I'm not getting from the zodiac as my fundamental frame of reference? And then I had no answer for that. It's like I'm not getting anything more as far as I can see. So, in terms of what I am currently needing, so
okay.
um, yeah, it's really a personal quest. Got to sort out where you are at
Yes.
in terms of relating to this material.
And so, and Steve, when you talk about you and Sophia's charts, is
Hmm.
that actual birth times or is that noon, high noon?
Yeah. I've used my birth time. That's when I arrived here.
Okay.
So I go, I arrived here. So how were the planets aligned at that time?
Okay.
And that's just where I see them placed. And go from there.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Dwayne. Thank you,
You're
Steve,
welcome.
and for
Thank
everyone.
you. I think the theme is our individual experiences. So on that note, my last word is fun.
Fun.
I'll second that.
that would be that'd be the trickster. That would be monkeys and the monkeys and
I
So I
have
look forward to fun tomorrow.
Me too. My Sag moon will be having fun.
Right on.
From what I know. I don't
Thank
have
you.
much.
Thank,
all.
Love you all.
Yeah,
thank you, Dwayne.
Thanks for the presentation, Dwayne. Take
Bye.
care.
You're
Good.
welcome. Yeah. See you again
Here you
next
guys.
week. Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.